Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures, and I'm back with you today with Rachel's weekly challenge. I thought I'd just take a little break from all the sparklies and from all the fairy journal that I've been doing the last couple of days, which you'll be seeing in the couple of weeks ahead. I'm filming, trying to keep well ahead so that I'll have films going into the period when I'm out of action. So I'm going to be doing week 37. The pretty antique script journal cards is what she's called them. So I do actually have Rachel's antique letters. So I'm going to use some of those. But I also had a couple of other ephemera kits. One from Paper Outpost and one from Pink Monarch Prints. And this one I think was in the Paper Outpost kit. And it's a really sweet little letter. And it's 1877. And I thought if I cut the top and bottom off, it would just about be the right size for quite a large journal card, but I fancied making it because I just like, because it's a complete letter. So I thought I'd start with that. I'm going to do it with my trimmer. I was umming and ahhing whether to tear it, but knowing me, I'll make a mess of it. So I'll just trim it to make sure it's quite a neat, it's got nice neat edges for the journal card. And I'm going to be able to just trim a little tiny bit off this side here. And a bit more off the top. So I think it's quite a fat journal, wide journal card, but I think it might work. I'm going to give it a go anyway. And then some of the others will probably be very similar to the ones that Rachel was using herself, but I may end up making some different choices, I don't know. So I think just got to try and, I think she just folded hers in half, but I don't know if I want mine quite as long as that. I think that might be long enough. I think I will just risk tearing it. And then this one gets folded in half as well. I'm going to cut it. I just don't trust myself to tear it straight. All right, so that's another one. Put this one aside. Probably do those another time if I feel so inclined. I've got this one. How many have I got? I'm only going to make 4, and I want different colours, so these are quite similar colours but very different script, so I might just use, certainly going to use one of these. That's going to be too wide to tear it in half that way, so I think I'll just going to eyeball it, I think, and just do it, cut it down about there. That's a bit wide now, isn't it? Alright, there's a smallish one, I guess. So maybe I need to make a larger one now. I'll do the same thing again. I'll just fold it to where I think it should be. And then fold it in half. I'm not going to fold it really tightly, I just want to roughly mark where the half is, because sometimes when you cut things, if you don't get it right on the fold line, you end up with a funny little piece. Now, which side should I use? I think I like that side. And that's that one. So I'll just cut this one just in case I've got time to do a fifth one, who knows. And in theory this is quite a quick project, but things are never as quick as they look when Rachel does it. Too many choices and decisions to make on what paper to use, what flower to use, what fabric to use. I'm just going to cut it right on that join there. And I've got that one. Right, let's start with the easy stuff. So I'm going to just going to put these out of my way. And I'm going to back them. I've got some of my neutral masterboard digital here, and then I've got a couple of bits of ledger paper. This was a ledger paper kit. I'm trying to remember who that was by. I can't remember, I'm really sorry. I can't remember who this ledger kit was by, but I thought it was really pretty, so I think some of that might work quite well. And I've got it printed on 120 GSM, so it'll make the journal card reasonably robust, I think. So which one would go best on here? Certainly I think this one could go nicely on here. So I'm just going to glue that now. Shall I risk? I'm going to risk trying to use this tacky glue to see how that works, because it's so much quicker to put on than the glue stick. And try not to do it too heavily. If I do a fairly thin coat, it might just work without making everything too soggy, I hope. Okay, let's try that. Up against the edge there. Okay, that's gonna dry just to leak around the edges. Right, so what else would look okay on here? Let's do this one. Right. I've actually got to try not to squeeze too hard with this one for a change. But I do like using it because it flows really nicely. This is something that I've seen Tina use quite a lot on Shabby Dabby Doodah, and I actually really enjoy using it, but it can make the paper very, very wet. So I just got to try and be a bit careful. I'm going to put that there. That's two. And then let's try this pink one. Pink. I don't think this is pink walnut prints, but I can't remember. Quite like the idea of just having that little bit of lace on the edge. No, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't pink walnut prints, but I can't remember. I'm so sorry. If I can, I'll try and remember to link these ledger papers, the digital kits, or the Etsy shop I got them from, because they are really pretty and they're different colours. Okay, let's put that sort of there-ish. I don't want it all covered with lace, but a bit on the edge would be quite pretty. Do that one. And then I've just got some plain ledger paper here. Again, it's from a digital kit. put these two together at the top. And then we can start decorating once I've cut these out and see how this goes. Just put that, get hold of it. That one on the top there, try and get as close to the edge as I can. Because this is when I could still print borderless. Well, my old laptop would let me print borderless, but my new one won't. And I think that's because it's something to do with Windows. I had Windows 7 on the old laptop, and I didn't realise that there would be any issue with Windows 10 as far as printing goes, but it doesn't seem to have the same print options, which seems weird that you have an updated version and it lets you do less things. It's actually less flexible as far as print options go. Bizarre, really. I'm going to have to start doing that thing that everybody else seemed to have to do, is tearing off those white borders. I used to manage to get away with that because I could always print, apart from the odd little bit when maybe the feed wouldn't take it in completely straight and I'd have a little bit to take off. But otherwise I used to be fine having borderless printing, but no more, except I might still be able to use my old laptop for a bit longer, just for things that I absolutely have to have borderless, or really want to have borderless. If I'm doing a digital for a journal or something, I might still be able to get away with it, but I don't know. It was really struggling, my old laptop, so... Right, let's cut these out. And then we can start playing and having some fun. I think I'm going to miss doing these when I'm out of action. I actually have discovered that I will be in a sling for 6 weeks. So I won't be able to do very much at all. So I certainly won't be able to make videos for at least 6 weeks after I have the surgery, and it may even be longer before I can really sit at a table for an hour and craft. I might be able to make one bits and pieces. Who knows? See how it all feels. So I'm kind of dreading not being able to come in my craft room. That's going to be I think it's going to be the hardest part of the whole thing, is not being able to do my crafting. But I'll be watching the videos, I'll be watching everybody else, storing up ideas for the future. Right, that's that one. Let's see how that one turned out with the little bit of lace. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? I like that. Okay, yeah, I like that one. And a couple more here. This sweet little letter says, Dear sir, I would like to have you call round with a horse that will suit me. I am ready to change any time you bring me that all right. Anytime, hang on, what's it say? Anytime now. Sorry, I'm ready to change anytime now. Bring me one that's all right. Don't know what that's all about, but short and to the point, but it's got such a lovely penmanship. They did in those days. They wrote so beautifully. My mum used to have beautiful writing. I think when they were, in those days, when she was born at the beginning of the 30s, they were taught how to write nice sort of curly writing. and she always wrote had beautiful writing. Of course, being a lefty, my writing was never that nice. Legible. I mean, some people, you know, have very strange ways of writing, but it was never as pretty as my mum's. But I don't think we were taught in the same way how to form our letters. I think that kind of went by the wayside as years went on. Right, so I've got 5 little journal cards. They're really nice, all different scripts, different colours. Quite a fun thing to do. Right, so the next thing is some book page, isn't it? Yes, book page. I'll just get my blue glue book. I'm not going to use the wet glue on the book page. That's just going to be too thin. So let's just do one at a time and try and stay a bit organised. I've got some bits of book page in this bag here. And I've got a little German book, one of my German books from when I was at uni. Take a couple of those pages out. They're a lovely colour, that lovely sort of, I mean, they're not that old, I suppose. They're probably about 40 years old, 40-ish years old, more than just over that. But they've coloured beautifully. And a few other bits here. Let's see. Got this bit of typewritten. With my tear ruler. I'm going to try and follow the same format as Rachel did. They'll still end up looking a bit different because I've got different laces and different bits of fabric and stuff, but basically I'm going to do what she did. I'm going to try and overthink it. She's already done the thinking for us, so sometimes it's nice to make things slightly different and make them more your own. But I think on this occasion I'm not going to try too hard to do that, because I still think they'll end up looking a bit different to hers, inevitably, because I'll be using different things. I wonder whether to use that on the other side. Having said I'm going to do the same as her, I'm actually changing it up a little bit, because I quite like this bit of font, this bit of paper here. I'm just going to put that on that side. Okay. This is some sort of poem, I think. Oh, it's very, very thin. I might just do it instead of just straight down. I might just do a little bit of an angle. Just going to put that one on like that, I think. Try not to think too much. Just plonking it on. Ooh. Now I've got a little tiny piece of music there. It's not really big enough, but quite nice to have a piece of music on one of them, wouldn't it? I'm going to use a bit of my German book page here. too big. Make it just a little bit narrower and a little bit less regimented down the side. Put that there. Let's see if I can find a little piece of music for the last one. Oh, remember that little tiny bit. Just seeing if I've got any music in. Oh, yes, just right on the front there. Right, excellent. Lovely. Right. Each time I use something, I have to just try and clear it away, otherwise I'm going to end up not having any room to work. So I'm ending up with a pile over there of stuff that I'll have to clear up afterwards. I seem to spend as long clearing up after some of these videos as I do getting it ready in the first place. But never mind, it's all fun. Right. Okay. Put that there. So now you can't read half the letter, but it's okay. Okay, that goes there. Right, so the next thing is to use some bits of lace on here, and I've got a little selection of. She definitely said try and use some really quite flat pieces of lace. So let's get me fabric scissors. I've got that one. I wondered about a piece of that, although it's not really quite big enough, is it? I do like that though. And a piece of fabric can go there. Maybe that needs to go on a smaller one. Maybe that'd be better on this one, although the colour's almost exactly the same, isn't it? No, I think that's just a bit too small. Let's go back to have a look at this one. I think I'll cut that down that way. So I think, although I'm only using Yoo-Hoo and I don't know that it actually will hold the lace permanently, I think it'll hold it long enough before I stick the rest on, and I will sew round this. And then when I put the fabric on, I will use fabric tack, and that'll hold the lace in place as well. So I'm going to just, this will do a good enough job while I'm just to hold this in place until it's sewn down. So that's that one. What else have I got here? A piece of, which one will this best go on? This really pretty lace here. It's actually not that dissimilar to what Rachel used, but this was just off a top. This is nothing like as pretty as, or as dimensional as her one looked. But I think the flower is too big as well. Maybe I'll just cut a piece up here and we'll see. Maybe cut it to size. That way, or that way. put that there. Okay. Just check it the right way around. Yes, I think it is. Okay. Put that right over to the edge, I think. Alright. How are we doing for time? Doing okay. What else have we got? Got this kind of avocado dyed lace. It's a bit patchy. Don't think the colour goes very well. Maybe go better on there, but that'll go too well on there. To have this piece of really beautiful vintage lace, but I have lots of it, so I think I can use a bit. Wondering if it'll... Have I done enough? I've been a bit mean with it, I think. If I put it there, and then I can just have a little piece of fabric and it'll still show. Yeah, it'll be alright. Down there a little bit. Okay, that's stuck down enough. Let's put a little bit more on just to be on the safe side. Okay, right. Sorry if you can see this. I've just had a blood test. I have to have blood tests regularly because of my medication, so nothing to be concerned about. I have a regular one every 2 months, and so I went this morning. Thought I'd better get it in before I can't go anymore. All these things I keep thinking I have to do because I'll be out of action for so many weeks. Although I will be able to go and have blood tests and things, but I'm trying to do things not too close to the time so that I don't, because I'm going to be self-isolating after next week. So I'm thinking I've got this beautiful handkerchief here. I thought I might use some of this. See if that's big enough. I wonder if I can just have that sort of hanging off the side there. I quite like that. Oh, where does it need to go? That's not very straight. It's kind of wonky. That's a bit better. Yep, like that. Alright, and I'd quite fancy using a piece of this. This is another piece of avocado dyed. I like this off the edge. It's not completely flat. It's not as flat as, but I don't think it's a problem. I'm gonna use it. I wanted to use it, so we will make it work. There. I'm liking that. Right. Now we're going to have to do battle with the fabric tack. I have to get ready with something to mop up the overflow should it decide to fountain out like it likes to do. Right, let's get the laces out the way, bring in the fabrics next. I have so many. I have so many favourites as well, which is going to be tricky. Something maybe with a bit of pink. Don't know if I've even got anything with a bit of pink in it. Or I might have. I've got lots of greens and blues. I've got this lovely little pack that I bought a while ago from a Etsy shop called Polka Dots Blooms, and they do this beautiful little pack, and I've kept it all in here, and I just dip into it now and again, and they do some lovely little bits of vintage fabric. That piece might work. Is that going to... not quite. Oh, I love that. Bit of that would be good. Okay, let's see if the fabric is going to play today. Just have to kind of get it started sometimes. Trouble is, then you can't stop it. I think we've got a little bit of no, I've got a wet one here. It's a bit gunked up. That should do it. I think I need to do it that way round. There we are. Sometimes I don't even know if I'm going to want to put any extra flowers on. They're just so quite pretty as they are, some of these. Once you've added the fabric and the lace, they look just nice, just like that. Okay, what have I got for this one? Any more from this little pack? And this is such a great little pack of yummy things inside. There's a nice little bit of ticking there, a couple of bits of ticking. Oh, I love this one. I don't know if that'll work, but I do love it. That one. And then I've got some of this fabric I bought when I was away. This is rather nice as well. No, it's two colours too close. I need a bit more of a contrast really. Same with this. Let's go on. Let's have a look at something a bit different. No, don't like that one. This is where it's all going to get tricky. So I'm not going to be able to make my mind up. That one, no. Got a bit of this William Morris fabric, which I really like. But will that go there? It's a funny colour this. It's kind of like a slightly dusky grey pink. And it's a tricky one to find something to go on it, really. If I go for complete contrast, no. Oh, hang on. So many bits here. Piece of that. Yeah, I think I might use a piece of that. the alternative is one more option, two more options. Right. I saw another piece that I was thinking about. Where'd it go? Not that bit. I've got all these tiny little scraps in here. I don't know quite, can't remember why I had so many tiny scraps. I was wondering about this piece. Yeah, I quite like that. Don't know why. That way around. Sorry, it's starting to. I don't know why. I just like that bit, so I'm just going to put that there. Move these out of the way slightly. Right, I'm going to put that on. I think that was a piece of the fabric that I used for my cover for my bird journal. I've still got scraps of that knocking around, and I just love that fabric. And every piece you get it's got a slightly different combination of colours. So put that there. Okay, next, this has got quite a yellowish tone to it. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I absolutely love this piece of fabric. This is just from Hobbycraft. It was one of their, they call them fat quarters. And they did a pack of, I think it was 4 pieces of this William Morris fabric, and it's just so gorgeous. I don't think I'll ever get tired of using it. I've got quite a lot of it. Fortunately, the pieces are quite large, and you only need little bits, so it's just as well. I think it'll last me a while. But I'm already thinking, should I have bought 2 lots? Because I imagine by the time I go back there, they'll have different options. I should think this one probably didn't last very long. Right. It's probably a little bit big actually. Right. Yeah, here we go. It's starting to do its ballooning, or whatever it is you call it. Volcanoing. But we're going to keep it under control. Okay. Yep. Okay, that works for me. And the next one, I'm wondering if that piece I cut will go on here. Yeah, I think it will. I don't know if I'm making my pieces a bit smaller than Rachel did. I think it varies. It's a case of what comes to hand, really, isn't it? I've got more of this, but I thought I'd use this piece as I cut it. And I don't want to cover up too much of the pretty lace anyway. So I'm just going to pop that there. Just try and keep that covered up a little bit. And last one. for this layer. What can I put on here? I wonder if I can use some of this pretty pink now. I do like this. Cut that piece off the top. Oh yes. Just a bit long. Just a touch. Right. Doing all right. Trying not to kind of agonise over everything single piece. Mostly. There. Otherwise you could, these things, if I'm doing this on my own, this would have taken me twice as long, because I would be trying out every bit of lace and every bit of fabric and never be able to make a decision. But if you're under the pressure of doing it on camera, you just have to make decisions, don't you? And I've got this big blob of oh gosh, this piece of stringy fabric with a big blob of Fabri-Tac on it that just wouldn't let go. There. Right. I think you're done. Mr. Fabri-Tac, you can go away. Now, I think the next bit's actually going to be the hardest ones to decide, because I like the fabric so much I don't want to cover it up. Right, so what I've got, and I don't know how I'm going to get on with these, whether I'm going to be able to use them or not. I've tried to follow the same sort of idea as what Rachel did in her video. So I'm using this book, Animals and Plants, which is really nice, and it's just got quite nice small images of all sorts of things, butterflies and flowers. You see I've torn into this quite a lot, and it's got like the smaller images, which is what I need. And there's even got mushrooms. It's a really good little book, and it's Animals and Plants of Britain and Europe. It's a Kingfisher Concise Field Guide. So I can't even remember where I don't know where I got that. I think I probably picked it up in a charity shop or something. So I've just torn out a few pages that have smallish images. Oh, that was from another book, I think, this one. So I've got a few butterflies in case they seem to work better. Just trying to find something that would go, because with using quite bright colours on my fabrics, now I need to find something that will go with them, don't I? Or I might not use anything, I don't know. I think that maybe a small butterfly would work better in some of these. Too orange. I'm not going to fussy tear the butterfly. Just going to get some idea of whether it will go. Don't know. Only one way to find out, isn't there? I feel like all the floral, I mean, I think Rachel used quite a lot of more neutral fabrics, but I'm not really a neutral person, unfortunately. It makes life difficult when you've got to try and match things up. I'm not very good at putting neutral things. If I see something pretty, I want to use it. And then it's more difficult to find something to use as a focal point, because already the fabric looks like a focal point in itself. So maybe I'll just go for something a little less, sort of a little quieter on the butterfly front. How about that? It's actually quite like that actually. Or maybe I'm going to have to use the Fabri-Tac for these things, because they're going to go on the fabric, aren't they? But does it go maybe there? It's getting quite bulky here now. Maybe I should just do it slightly off to the side there. I think I will have to Fabri-Tac it because of the fabric. I'm going to use this one just because it doesn't take away then from the beautiful fabric, which I love, which is why I wanted to use it, but it does mean that none of the floral pieces really go. I'm going to have the same trouble with the next one as well. Never mind. I think that looks quite nice anyway. Okay, that one. That one's nice. And it's got that on. It's got the ledger on the back. Now, what am I going to do with this one? I've got the same problem. Don't know whether a bit of yellow would work. There was. No, it's going to be too yellow now. I wonder if I just make that a little bit smaller. Maybe that would work. I'm going to try and, gosh, I've got covered in glue now. I'm going to ink it up a little bit so it doesn't, just so it shows up just that little bit more. Some things you feel like they need it, and some things you don't necessarily feel they do. But I think on this occasion, yeah, I think that one will work. Quite like that. Okay. That one down there. And I think as I'm going to do as I go, I'm going to round the corners. I've got choices, 10mm, 4mm and 7. I'm going to try the 7. Because then these will be properly done, won't they? Properly finished. Better. Just have to make sure you feed it into the punch properly. Otherwise you can end up with a funny little shape. That. So that's properly finished. I'll make sure this is properly finished in case I don't get to put all the focal points on before we need to finish. You know, just need to call it a day. Okay, that one and that one. Oop. Missed the bin and chucked all my little tiny pieces into my lace box, which is not a good plan really. Okay, what about this one? Put that on there. It's quite nice as well. Don't know which side to use. I never find this fussy tearing business all that easy. But I like the look. So I've got this one. this one. I can't make my mind up. Let's get a bit closer. Seems to be going round one, goes more or less round the right places of the other one as well, so that's quite handy. No, I think I'll go for the yellow. The other one's just too spread out. I need to take some more of this off. Ooh. A bit nerve-wracking when you get really close, but I want to get rid of that line. And around the bottom. Okay, I think that just about works. Just do a little bit more off there. Almost cut off a bit of flower. I think that looks okay. Let's just check if there's, make sure there's nothing else that I prefer. Having gone to that all the trouble cutting that one out, tearing it out. I haven't given myself too many choices here. Made sense not to. Yeah, I'm just going to put that on. I think that'll be fine. Okay. You still see some of the lace and the fabric. I think that'll be all right. Okay. Oh, let's do me. I think I may only have one time to finish. Well, shall I just finish them both? If I can do it quickly, I'll try and finish both. The last two. Now, let's try not to throw these in the box of lacy scraps this time. That's it. Now, I'm thinking this one would be quite a nice one here. Let's check the other side. Nope, don't like either of those. This is quite a big one. I like the colour. Getting to the dangerous territory now. Don't want to tear any flower. Alright. Just tear around a little bit more around the leaf. Don't want any more white showing than necessary. Yeah, although it's a bit on the large side, I do rather like the colour on here. Just tear that little bit off the end. Yep, I'm going to go for it. Yep. Oh, I haven't inked it. I want to just give it a little light, just a light ink. just like to define the edges of these ones as they're the focal point. Right, grab this before it starts billowing everywhere again. Okay. I do enjoy Rachel's challenges. Sometimes, you know, they can be quite challenging, but it's nice to be guided to do something different that that you haven't thought of yourself. And it's a nice break from working on, you know, things like, at the moment, my fairy journal. Just to have something completely different to work on makes a really nice change. Not to have to think about it too much, because she's done all the thinking for us. But you end up with something really fun that you can use in future journals. I think I'm definitely going to have to do some nature journals in the future, because I'm going to have so many pieces of ephemera that are nature related. Oh, I need to trim that a little bit. That I really need to embrace that, I think, and do an actual. I mean, I know I did my bird journal, and I used a lot of Rachel's ephemera on that. But that's the only time I made a journal using those things. So I'm just going to have to do this by scissors because the bit of lace is in the way. Okay, there's that one. We do the last one. I may be going over just a little bit. I'll try and do this quickly, this last piece. Perhaps I'll do the corners first. I'll have to hand cut the fourth one, should I say. Because the lace is in the way again. Oh, I like the back of that one. Hadn't even looked. Oh well, it won't really show. It's kind of rounded. Okay, let's just do this, see if we can find something for this last one. Which I think is really pretty, just as it is, to be honest, but we will see. Oh, I've got this little flower here, might work quite well because it's quite small and perhaps won't take away too much from everything else that's there. If I can manage to tear it without messing it up. She always says, try and keep your thumbs together, which I'm trying to do. You can control it better. So I've got better since she started telling us how to do that. I have got better with my fussy tearing. Actually, I quite like that because I think that works for me. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to stick it on, not think about it. I think I've torn enough off. Not too clashy. Oops. Oops, upside down. I need to just check that my camera came back on because it turned itself off as usual after half an hour, which goes to show I've done an hour of filming so far. Yep, sometimes I press the button and it doesn't come on straight away, so I just have to check sometimes that it has come back on. It sounded like it did, and it did. So that's good. So there we are. That's the last one. I did 5. Woohoo! I'll quickly just show them, and then I will sew around them because they really need to have that bit of finish. I think it makes all the difference. So there we have that one, and I'll probably ink around them as well. I'll ink around the edges and sew around them. So that one, a really different colour, quite wide, but I like that one as well. And there's that one, this one, and this one. I don't know which one's my favourite. I think this might be my favourite, actually. I like them all though. It's really been fun to do. So thank you, as always, Rachel, for a really great challenge. I've really enjoyed doing this one. And thank you for joining me. Please do join me again soon when we're back on the Sparkly Journal. I've got lots of videos already done, and I've got more to do. I'm going to try and get it done, or at least to the point of, you know, ready to stick, you know, all the ephemera made and everything before I go into hospital, so that you know, maybe my daughter has suggested she might help me out a bit afterwards if I need to finish things off. You never know. You may even see her on camera. Who knows? That could be funny. I think she may be regretting that she mentioned that. She might help me out. Okay, thank you for joining me. Do join me again soon. Bye for now.